Then Nigerian youths, please, I beg, nobody should come out and protest again. I know a lot of you are not observant, but if you are watching what is happening in Kano, Kaduna, and those northern states, it's not a rocket science. Something is about to hit this country if we are not careful. No be cruise. Because think about it. How did we go from we are hungry, reduce fuel price, to we want Russia, we want military to take over? What do you really want? You understand? It means that somebody somewhere have been waiting for an opportunity to move smart.
Alright, here's why I think protests in Nigeria usually fail. First of all, this is what I think the usual part of a protest or whatever bringing about change looks like. So it goes protests, you figure out what the problem is like of the country, figure out the solution. Like it also has to come together. Create awareness around the problem. You influence people to change their behavior in order to solve the problem. And change of behavior can be changing laws or funding. Funding can also be used to like change the laws, you know. Okay, let's focus on the problems and what I think solutions are. First of all, this is what I think like our society looks like. Let's go through it one at a time. First of all, we have a democracy, which is government of the people, for the people, by the people, and we are under a capitalistic economical system, which is just society is governed by whoever has money, and these two coexist. Therefore, we kind of are in a government of the people, for the people, by the people, with capital or with money. This is where I think our issue starts, because if we think that the government is run by the masses, it's not actually run. It's kind of run by the bourgeoisie, like essentially people with capital. That's where our first issue starts. But let's focus on the three problems, or the three entities, which is the government, the masses, and the external world. I would have said cooperation kind of added as four, but let's just keep them together for now. The protest was kind of end bad governance, but the thing about it is, all these, they feed into each other. So if the masses, which is the people, which is us, if these people here don't have integrity, immediately you get rid of this will be what we get into here. And based on what I said before, it's just the people with capital. So the rich here, or the bourgeoisie here, will get into here. And do they have integrity? Will they work hard? Will they actually replace them in a positive light? I don't really think so. So you saying end bad governance is just pretty much replacing them with others that will do the exact same thing that they're doing. Also, the external world, I think it's pretty much public information right now that the external world is kind of trying to exploit and extract resources from Nigeria. So the external world, and a lot of information has come out that some of this, you already know who I'm thinking about. They kind of have a lot of coups that have occurred. That if the government is corrupt, the citizens rise up and get rid of them. This will just insert a brand new. So it's the same issue. If you say the issue is end bad governance, this and this has to be kind of excluded. Everybody kind of thinks of the problems separately. So people who think the government is the problem, we need to fix the government. I'll give you like an example. It's Shehu Kuti. He has the Labour Party, you know, but people don't like him. It's normal. People who think that we have to fix it from the middle, which is from the people. For example, VDM, that's one of them. A lot of people don't like. It's like we don't like anybody that's trying to help. Somebody that's trying to get the people back to their morals, so that if they ever are here, they will act right. The external world, people usually help us in this light are kind of I'll say bloggers and I'll say content creators that talk about the impact of the outside world on the country. Kind of most of them are kind of the diaspora, because they are very informed. So an example of one of them is Ivy Anita. I think that's her name. She's one of my favorite. There are a lot of them. There's Tokuma. There are lots. Some South Africans. They're all over Africa, and they are in the diaspora. So they are outside countries, and they're making content, providing information. So those are just examples of different people focusing on different areas that they think are the priority. So you can pick anyone, but let's just focus on the one I'm trying to explain. If this is what our parents and their parents before them and all ancestors have been trying to fight, they've been trying to beg or trying to change the government's mind. So they're trying to essentially do what Shokut is doing. They've been trying to get the government on the people's side, and it hasn't been working, because I don't think the government are meant to be working for the people. So you can't really be begging. You have to kind of force their hand, because the government is meant to be facilitating the rights and the needs of the masses through taxes. They're meant to be like a body of the desires of the people reflected on them. They're meant to facilitate these. And if they are not doing these, the masses have to take it upon themselves. And two entities are supposed to be doing this, facilitating this when this fails, are meant to be charities and churches. churches, that's why you notice that a lot of politicians, when it's like election period, they go to churches and try and get endorsement, because churches could really force their hand if they really wanted to help the people, because churches make, let's not go into that, but churches could facilitate these. That's why you notice a lot of activists, they kind of build up charities or kind of put GoFundMe's and ask for different things for the people, which is essentially needs, usually food, maybe water, maybe borehole sometimes, and usually needs, but they are usually perishables, which are things that you still need them later on. But let's not focus on these for now. Let's focus on the protest route. Okay, now we've identified the problems, which are the government, the people, and the external world. What will be the solution? Because the problem stated was end bad governance. That wouldn't change anything, because another one will just be inserted right behind it. So the main focus shouldn't be government or the outside, it should be the rights and the needs of the people being facilitated. Since this is not doing its job with the people's taxes, it falls on this. So now we are back here. It goes protest. Now we know the problem. We know the three problems. The solution is focusing on the needs of the people. Create awareness. I think that's already been done. Everybody already knows pretty much. Influence. I'll be going to the needs very soon. So what I'm trying to say is, if we're trying to bring about change in providing the needs, it will be change of behavior, which is we've already accomplished that. Everybody already know. Everybody's hungry. The country is already hungry to change. We can't really accomplish this because even with people dying in the protest, nothing has really changed. They haven't shown anything. Only a video of, I don't even know what the fuck that speech was. So the goal is to raise funds, which is charity, in order to provide for the people's needs. So let's go to the needs. But whenever people kind of create charities, the priority isn't creating a domino effect. Our goal should be creating a domino effect. So first of all, I'll be going through all the needs, then I'll kind of link them to organizations that they are meant to be linked to and should be facilitated by the government. So these are physical needs, like our normal needs: air, water, food, sleep. Cover this one. Warmth, which is shelter and clothing. Hemostasis, which is just a still state of the body when your body is at equilibrium, which is no sickness. Excretion, and how can I do this? Okay. Safety and security needs, which is security of body, which is essentially police, the army. Health, which is the healthcare system. Resources, the resources of the country. Education, employment. I think this is also I think this is lawyers and judges, and this is also linked with the police system also. So if any of these, which to be honest, none of these are really facilitated by the government at all. This, which is clean air, they are allowing corporations destroy the environment. So they are failing at this. There's no clean filtration system. Fucked. There's no facilitation there's no support with access for farmers. People are working like they're insane just to feed their family. Shelter. There's no affordable housing. Human services, which is kind of like healthcare. We don't have affordable or free healthcare. This excretion, which is the garbage and sock away. I think that one is alright, but it can also it also needs. I think that one is alright, but it needs improvement. Security, we don't pay people. Whenever I have this conversation with people, they kind of say, "Why do you want the government to provide for everything for you?" Because that's their job. They are meant to facilitate all the necessities of your life in order for you to focus on these. We are in a survival mindset. That's why we're always focusing on this. We don't have enough time to create. We don't innovate. There are no facilities for example, if we had an inventor in the country, they have to go into their own pockets. After fixing all this for themselves, then they have to go through this. All these are meant to be facilitated by the people. And if you disagree with me, why don't you pay for the police? Why do people require a lawyer that's provided by the government? Why are we looking for free healthcare? All these are meant to be facilitated by the people's taxes. And when all these are done, the people will have enough time. I'm not saying free, but they should at least be subsidized, cheap. And and that wouldn't be that hard. First of all, this conversation is not really about the government and their failings. This is about how they can be made to do this, because our ancestors have been begging them, our parents have been begging them to change these things, but they haven't, so they have to be pressured. For me, I think we need something with a domino effect. We cannot start tackling this one at a time. We need one that's going to allow the others, like make it easier for us to go from one to the other. And I think this would be the first one, which is shelter. Because I think if you have peace of mind, to be honest with you, and you have a home, this is already solved. You have time, because a lot of people, we pay for like 70% of your salary goes to shelter, goes to your house. You have less money for this, less money to take care of your family, less money to focus on your priorities in life. So I think also the way to kind of affect change is this world is run by money. We people dislike it, but that's fact. The way to affect anything is to affect money, to affect people's pockets. So sorry for the noise. There isn't only one way to protest. There are multiple ways. What we're used to now when we associate it with protest is marching. There are different ways. There's also boycotting, which is we're not buying from so and so company, or we're not patronizing you. There's anything that involves you going against the norm. For example, on a normal day, people wouldn't be walking down the streets looking waving flags and saying we no go green. That's you're going against societal norms. So the most effective one is boycotting. And what's the best way to boycott? To make sure that people have home, because a lot of people say I cannot protest because I have to pay my rent. These are easy. These ones can be easily done, because if we focus on this, and then this will kind of give us the leverage to be able to bargain for all this around, because this is the priority. Free healthcare is mandatory. Not only the free labor from our colleagues, our doctors, not only free labor, but free medicine, the product. Even in the UK, they don't. The labor of the individual, the citizen, is what is paid by taxes, but the actual product. That's why they always prioritize companies. They don't prioritize people. The people's labor is paid for by tax, but the actual product that can be made money off, that one they make sure that you pay for it, because their priority is capital. It's not you. It's not the people. So it has to be this. First of all, our demands have to be shelter, or it can't really be a demand, because we'll also, while requesting for it, we'll also be trying to solve it with funding. But let's focus right now. It has to be shelter, healthcare, and connection. Because if we focus on these and we accomplish it, because the more people who are aware of what is going on, the more people who will be able to join the fights. The more people do it, because if we get these, we have leverage to ask for every other thing. Because you should understand what your taxes are being used for. A lot of time, most of the money goes to here, or goes to different. As people don't even understand. Some people don't understand how looting occurs. It's just this: they dispatch money in order for, in words, for these to be done. But while this is being done, they give the money to corporations and they hike up the prices, and they take the money that's meant to be solving these and they keep pocketing it. That's the way. So this has to be fixed. And the way to pressure them is by solving this one first, which is shelter, which is affordable housing. And that takes us back to here. The problem will always be housing. Solution, we have to raise funding. I don't know. The easiest way would be to purchase properties and make sure and put an amount. And the amount has to be in relation to minimum wage. So anybody can live. That will be the priority first. I think that's the solution that I see. Yeah, I think that's all. I'm human, so obviously some things I've gotten them wrong, but life is not a test. I'm not meant to get everything right. If you have anything that you think I'm incorrect at, please tell me. I'll happily accept any criticism or any information. If you have any opinions, I would love to hear them. I think that's all. Am I forgetting anything? I think that's all. We have to create awareness. A lot of people need to know what's going on. I think we need a social media job. That's for Africans, to be honest with you. Yeah. There are a lot of different activists that are trying to solve this problem. As a Nigerian, you're meant to be tapping in. Pick one of them. These are not the only people. These are just the fields. I just chose the ones that I kind of frequent. This person here, right here. I don't know, man. He's just something else. His words are wonderful, man. I think all of them are on YouTube. Just very dark man. There's also Tokuma. There are so many. There are a lot of South Africans. There are so many. I don't know. So just anyone, you just tap in. Any one of them that's trying to solve these problems, please lock in with them. We don't really. It's not everybody that needs to be matching to solve these problems. Anyway, peace and love.